Okay, hey guys, this is Mishal and you're watching Q&A with Mishal, episode number 14. Now, I don't know about the question at this stage. We're going to find out as we go. Let's not waste our time. Let's jump right into it. So, Rahi, what's my question number one?
So the first question is, what are the best ways to change a negative belief or a negative thought pattern?
Now, let's first understand why we need belief system, what it does, right? It really drives the behavior. If you honestly in your heart believe that you cannot achieve anything in your life because you came from a different background or you went to a different school, what kind of actions you are going to take in your life, right? Let's say that you have entrepreneurial tendency, right? And you really want to do something in the business world, but you're always really hesitant because none of your family members ever had to start their business. People you hang out with, right, never had to start their own business. They have always work for someone else. Okay, even though you're really passionate about your business, you are never going to sort of move forward with any level of confidence because you secretly in your heart believe that you're never supposed to sort of do that because all the people around you keep on telling you that we never ever had to start our own business. Okay, we love the job security, right? If you want to succeed at anything, you're going to have to move towards the direction of that thing with some level of confidence. Now, understand this. Emotions are basically like clouds. It's going to come and go. Okay, what kind of attraction and momentum we are going to create in our life if all our actions are predicated on the emotions we are feeling at that particular point in time. Let's say we only go to work when we are excited, when we are hopeful about the future, okay, and we are feeling awesome. And we do not go to work, we do not put in the work, we do not make those calls during the time when we are feeling down. Okay, our energy is low, right? We are never ever going to get anything done. So understand this, that if you have dreams and aspirations, you're gonna have to take actions in spite of what you feel. That's given, right? So like every day I get up, I really do not want to do these videos. Okay, I'm still gonna have to make these videos. Okay, I do not want to go to the gym every like sort of 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, but I still sort of drag myself out of the bed and I still have that workout. And not once I felt bad after a really good workout because your brain is one of the laziest organ in your body. It's always going to give you the reason not to have that workout, not to go to the work because when you are not feeling well, not to record these videos when your energy are down, right? So we cannot make the permanent decision based on the temporary emotions we are going through. Now, how do we change that state? When I started my first business, right, I was extremely unconfident because all my clients were making more money than I ever made in my entire lifetime. So I was underconfident. I knew that if I really want to produce the results I said that I'm going to give them over the phone during our first meeting, then I'm gonna have to put myself in a state where I'm absolutely confident, when I'm feeling that I'm a force to be reckoned with. I had to believe in myself. If I do not believe in myself at anything that you're trying to do, it is transference of emotion. If I walk into the meeting with sense of uncertainty, that's what I'm going to sort of transfer. So I knew that if I really want to produce the results that I said that I was going to produce for my clients, I had to change my state. So the way I was going to do, I was doing it. I was have this affirmation hundreds and hundreds of times until it really put me into a different mood, right? So let's say that you identified that some of your limiting beliefs are sort of holding you back, right? Now understand this, I've got nothing against the belief system that you have, right? If you are happy with the results that you are attracting in your life right now, you do not have to let go any of the beliefs that you have, okay? But if you are not happy, entirely 120% happy with some of the results that you are attracting into your life right now, then you're gonna have to let go some of the beliefs, right? And the way to do it is you first of all have to associate massive levels of pain with that limiting belief. right? Associate massive levels of pain. Magnify that pain. Visualize that if you do not change this behavior, what kind of life you are going to have 12 months down the track, right? What kind of legacy that you are going to create for your kids, right? Let's say that even though you have this entrepreneurial tendency, okay, you want to move out of your city or you want to do certain things, but you still don't do it because of the fear and the limiting beliefs, because of the doubts, right? Like, would it affect your legacy? Would you be happy 20 years down the track? Right? So now you have some solid leverage over the things, over the results that you really want to produce in your life. And now changing beliefs, changing your emotions become a really organic process.
So the second question is, how do you make people step up in your organization?
If you have a business, right, you really can't do anything by yourself. Even though the idea that you have at this stage is extremely promising, but you can't do it yourself. Your company, your organization is only going to be as good as your people, right? So how do you start? You basically start with hiring people who are self-driven. They're self-motivated, right? Try and imagine a company where you always have to motivate people. Their motivation is always based on your motivational speeches. Okay, it's gonna be an exhausting process for you, right? When people do not know how to sort of drive motivation for themselves, they are not clear about their goals. They do not have any goals. There is nothing to get excited about, right? So whenever you are hiring, okay, do not hire for the skills. Skills can be developed when you put your people to the right kind of training, when you give them the right mentorship, okay, coaching programs. But then you always hire people for the attitude, right? If you get great people with massive skills, but they haven't got a great attitude, they're not self-driven individual, what's going to do is it doesn't matter how much money you are going to put on the table, they're never ever going to step out when it matters the most, right? So get people who have some goals, who are self-driven individuals. They have some massive ambitions. They want to do something in their life, right? Then they're always going to sort of find a reason to perform under pressurized situation. Now, if you have a team, you also need to understand that your employees are not going to share your passion for the business. They really honestly do not care that you're trying to put man on the moon. Okay, honestly, they do not care that you want to get to a level where your business is producing $1 billion a year, until they know what's in it for them, right? So I've said it in my last video that it doesn't matter what business you are in, you're always in the business of people. If people feel that if they stay with you and there's nothing to sort of look forward for them, okay, they're not going to grow professionally, none of their personal goals are going to get accomplished, then it doesn't matter what kind of money you're going to put, they're never going to give their 120%, right? You need to have one-on-one session with these people and need to ask them, okay, what really excites you? What are your goals? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years down the track? Okay, what really gets you going? What kind of house you want to live in? Okay, what kind of money you want to make so your parents, your spouse, your kids never ever had to worry about the money. And also understand that you have to use different languages with the people. Okay, yes, if I talk about myself, money excites me a lot because I have massive goals and aspirations for myself. I know exactly what I'm going to do with the money that I really want to earn. Not all people get excited with the money, right? Some people are driven by the stability. They're going to work harder than anyone else in the room because they really want to hang on to the job, right? It's based on their own personal experiences, right? Sometimes some people are just extremely competitive. All they want to see is they want to see their name on the board, that they are the highest performer. So understand those people, understand what really motivates your people. And then once you find those reasons, then you're going to have to wrap those business goals around their personal goals, right? And the last thing is, if you're an entrepreneur, you're always raising the urgency, right? Like for example, if we are in a pressurized situation and you do not have any choice, like I used to give this extreme example all the time to my people, right? Let's say that you have to achieve this impossible target, right? And there is no way in the world, the way you are going this month, you are ever going to hit the numbers. So my job as a leader is to raise the urgency, raise the necessity. And the way I used to sort of do that is painting them a picture, walking them into a scenario where I would just say them, okay, let's just imagine that you got a kid, or you got a daughter, you got parents, you got a spouse, and someone kidnaps your spouse, someone kidnaps your daughter, someone kidnaps your parents, and the only way to save them is to achieve this target, and you cannot go to the cops. Okay, so if you really want to save them, is to perform at this level to achieve this target. You have no choice. So how are you going to perform? How are you going to show up in the world? Okay, how are you going to talk to your clients? Because if you do not perform at the highest level possible, other people die, right? So what I did as an owner and the entrepreneur is I raised the necessity, right? And it is a job of an entrepreneur to raise the necessity, create the urgency, right? Because we always have the answers. It's not about the resources. It's always about the resourcefulness. If you do not have any option but to like there was this analogy that if you really want to take on the island, burn all the boats that you have, right? Now the only way to go back to your land is you defeat the enemy, you take their boats and go to your land. Again, it's a job of a leader, entrepreneur to raise the necessity. Okay? You as an entrepreneur always setting the standard for your people.
So the third question is, what advice do you have for someone who's recently graduated and now confused about further postgraduate studies or finding a job?
So I have spent obnoxious amount of money on my formal education because I honestly believe that the education is going to be my way out. As I told you in the past that, okay, when I was a kid, okay, I was not really excited about pursuing education. I just wanted to make a lot of money. So I thought I'm going to be a doctor because doctors make a lot of money. Then when I got into college, I thought, okay, I'm going to be a chartered accountant because chartered accountant makes a lot of money, right? But the moment I stepped into my postgraduates, I realized I really can't do this 24/7. I can't do this over the weekend. There is no way I'm going to be an accountant. Okay, I can't do this. I like this, but I'm not passionate about it. And if I'm not passionate about it, I cannot really produce the great work. Now, when you are thinking in terms of that acquiring the master's degree, why do you really want to do it? Right? You already been through 20 years of education. Do you think extra 2 years going to make sort of any difference? 90% of the students are acquiring masters because everyone around them are doing it. They are basically following the template, right? They are acting on the narrative that the education institutions have sold them, right? They just now honestly in their heart believe that their only way out is to acquire. The only way to get a competitive advantage in the marketplace is to acquire more education. And that's absolutely nuts, right? We are living in a time where education is information, knowledge, education is just not power anymore. It used to be power when we got the independence, where only 12% of Indian population were literate. And when I say literate, only 12% of Indian population at the time could read and write, okay? It doesn't mean that they were graduates. So almost 88% of Indian population when we got the independence in 1947 were starting at the bottom. And when I say starting at the bottom, I'm talking about extreme poverty. Okay, number one concern we had at the time was our basic survival necessity. Okay, when you are worried and stressed about your basic necessity, you do not care about the education. For example, my grandfather started working when he was 14, and it was really common at the time. The reason he decided to start working at that young age because he had to look after his father, mother, 5 other brothers, and a sister. He did not have any choice. Education at the time was a luxury. What do I mean by that? When I say it was a luxury, they would rather use the money, right, to feed the other family members than to reallocate some of that fund into the education. It really changed over the next sort of 20 years, right? So my grandfather, with a lot of other people who were born between sort of 1925 to 1946, okay, they work extremely hard. They started working at an extremely young age. They work extremely hard, and they pulled their family out of extreme poverty, and now their kids are living a middle class dream, right? They are not worried about the basic necessity. They are not worried about the house. For example, my grandfather, from the age of 14 to 35, he changed 11 houses. But when my father was in school, he was not worried about the basic necessity. He was not worried about the education. He was not worried about the basic, the clothes and the school materials and stuff like that, right? So now they took that route. At the time, we realized education could be our way out. Like people from the extreme poverty right now in Africa, southern part of India, Afghanistan, Lebanese, okay, if they get their kids into the school, education become their way out, okay? But like people who were born in the 90s, after sort of 2000s, okay, mid 80s, okay, they were already upper middle class. They did not have to worry about the basic necessity. They had car, they had television, they had refrigerator. So now the education is no more a power. It is accessible to a lot of people, right? So now understand this. If you're going to do the right thing for the wrong reasons, you're always going to get pain. So if you're pondering about pursuing masters, moving out of a country, investing obnoxious amount of money on your postgraduates, ask yourself, why are you doing it? Are you doing it because your parents told you? Are you doing it because your cousins are doing it? Are you doing it because all your friends are pursuing the masters? So, what point I'm trying to make? This is what I'm trying to make. When we got the independence, our parents, our grandparents did not have a choice to pursue their passion. Because when you are worried and stressed about your basic necessity, no one cares that you can sing really well or you can draw really well, because you're worried about providing basic necessity to your family, right? Then when our father got into the workforce, they were trying to maintain their lifestyle, okay? But now you do not have to worry about paying your basic expenses. You do not have to worry about paying a mortgage, or you do not have to look after sort of 10 members of the family. And understand this, anything that you're going to do, you're going to have to work your butt off. Otherwise, you're going to be slept around, you're going to be pushed around, and you're not going to like your leaders, right? Anyone who has created a massive success for themselves, they work obnoxiously hard, right? But if you are going to do something that you only like, then you only want to put out your bare minimum efforts, right? And if you're only putting out bare minimum efforts, again, you're going to be pushed around by so many people. Okay, where does the term rat race come from? Okay, now, rat race basically indicate that no one likes to be an employee, right? I've been an employee of the company for literally about 8 years, and I enjoyed every minute of it because I was actually doing something I really wanted to do. If I would be an accountant, I would be miserable. Now, so people work extremely hard and try and get into the rat race, but these guys only putting out the bare minimum, they're pushed around. They don't like their lifestyle anymore. They do not want to put in 16, 17, 18 hours a day. So now you are doing everything in your power to get out of the rat race. So You have an opportunity. If you're graduating this year, the next year, in the next 5 years, you have the opportunity to make the right decision. Okay, you are going to fail at things that you absolutely love doing, and you are going to fail at things that you hate doing, right? But you can come back again and again and again if you are pursuing something that you absolutely love doing. You do not have problem working 15, 16 hours a day. But then if you're going to fail 3-4 times at things that you are just interested in, eventually you're going to quit, right? So make the right call. Any industry that you're going to go, right, that is lucrative only for few people who are putting obnoxious amount of work. It is terrible for most people. So if you find your passion, if you find something that you really enjoy doing, right, and if you're willing to put in the work, it's going to be lucrative for you as well.
So the last question for this episode is, sometimes not achieving a goal can be really devastating for someone, even after trying everything that you can to achieve that goal. How can one get to a mental state where they are not attached to their goals?
Okay, so here's the problem with achieving the goals, right? Just because you got a goal, okay, it's not going to be a straight line, okay? You're going to try something today and you're going to achieve your goals and aspirations the next day, right? It really doesn't work that way. The problem is, first of all, okay, you can be emotionally attached with your goal. That just says that you really care about your goal. Okay, you really want to achieve your goal. The problem with far too many people is the moment they fail, the moment they face their first objection, the moment they get face to face with the adversity, okay, they become realistic about their goals. They adjust their goals. Okay, they think there's something wrong with their goal. They never question their strategy. Okay, just because you spend a lot of time coming up with the strategy, okay, just because you spend a lot of your time, you invest a lot of your time and energy coming up with the strategy, people do not want to let the thing go. They are way too emotionally attached with their ideas, okay, and that's the problem. Okay, this is what happens with 90% of the people who are extremely resistant when they fail. They just think that there's only one way to succeed in the marketplace. They only think that there's only one way to make $1 million. There's only one way to achieve your goals. There are multiple ways to achieve your goals. Every time you fail, instead of being really emotional about not achieving that goal and adjusting that goal according to your skill level, according to the reality, just change your approach. Just change your strategies. Okay? Strategies basically hold no value. A real objective is to get to the goal that we have. How we get there is not relevant. Just keep that in mind, right? So we still have a fixated mindset on a goal that we are trying to get, but we are flexible with our approach. We are absolutely detached with the idea, how are we going to get there, right? It's really simple. So that's the wrap, guys. You are watching Q&A with Mishal, episode number 14. These are your questions. I'm just answering them. If you have any questions in regards to business mindset, how to get the best out of people, how to get the best out of yourself, how to achieve your goals, or entrepreneurship, okay, do not forget to put your questions in the comment sections, and we're going to try and cover that in the next episode. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you next time.